Yo guys, how's it going? In today's video I'm going to show you how to sound like Taiki Nulight. So that intro there may sound familiar to you. What I've done is recreated the drop from Skank and Flex. And in this video we're going to go through how I did that. So we're going to go straight to the drop. So I've put it into every beat and we've got our kick here. So this is what the kick sounds like originally. Now this is a kick drum from my Mayhem sample pack. If you want to check it out, there's a link to my website in the description. Pretty much everything I've used in this video is from that pack. So I found this kick and then I realized it was quite similar to the one in the drop Skank and Flex, but it needs to be a bit shorter. So I used this to make it short like this. And I felt like that sounded pretty spot on. And then if we look at the processing, there's actually no processing on it. It just goes straight to the kick group, which is in mono, which then goes straight to the drum bus, which has a Saturn on it, on the default setting, and then a Pro L, and that's it. So let's add the kick drum. So there's one on the first beat of the bar. And then if we go from beat, we just add one in every beat in the second bar onwards, like this. And then we just keep doing that. So this is what it sounds like. Next, we want to add a clap. So this clap is also from the pack. So what I've done is found this clap here, and I've pitched it down 3 semitones like this to get a more crispy mid sounding clap, which works well with this sort of kick. So let's play it. And so what I've done adding it in is I've added it every second bar and every fourth bar, and then continued that to give this. And now if we look at the post-processing on the clap, so it starts here, gets sent to the clap group again, and then this is all the way in mono, and then we've got a Saturn on it on little spice setting all the way, the drive's all the way up. And then we've got an EQ on it, getting rid of any unnecessary low to mid ranges. And then we've got this fruity blood overdrive, and I've just tweaked the settings like this, and I think that sounds really cool. And then it's being sent to our reverb channel here, which has a fruity reverb on it and an EQ to cut out any unnecessary lows. And then that's being sent to the drum bus as well. Now let's move on to the hi-hat. So this is something I've picked up recently on a lot of more bass house style tunes. What they like to do is they like to have a hi-hat and a ride grouped together. So you've got the hi-hat here from my Mayhem pack, and then there's a ride here which is in my drum and bass Havoc pack that I've grouped together to give it that sort of sound. So if we look at the processing on this, the hi-hats, I've got the ride super quiet with a lot of reverb on it, and then I've got this hat with just an EQ on it, and then these are getting sent to the hat group here, which just has a stereo enhancer on it, making it sound a bit more wide, and you get this cool sound. So it's worth experimenting with hi-hats and rides for these kind of tunes because it adds movement. So let's listen to it all together. It's really that simple. Just the right sample selection, a few little tweaks, plugins, and 4 Elements has got really good drums that work with the drop. So let's go to the bass now. So let's listen to them all together to start with. So let's look at this. So before we get into the bass, if you'd like to download this FLP or the stems, there's a link in the description, completely free. I'm giving this project away completely free, so you can go into it and have a look. But make sure to keep watching as well, so you get an understanding of why I've used the elements that I've used and how it all works together and how you can apply it to your tracks. So let's look at the melody now. So this is the crazy part of the melody. It uses pretty much the same note for the whole drop, apart from the start and the end where it slightly changes. Now I've used 4 semitones above what the sub is doing on these because I've got 4 semitones up here. So the combination of using different layers on different notes, I've found pretty much the exact Taiki has used in this. The official notes are on the sub here, and then the different notes I've used on the Serum just reflects what's happening inside Serum. So let's look at the basses first. So let's turn off the sub. So So we've got this first bass sound, which is just an edited sound from Mayhem. And it's pretty much just like a gritty sound, just distortion here. So we go into the LFO here, and oscillator B has been turned off, and it's just basic shapes here on this setting, and then low 12 on here. So feel free to copy this if you want. Yeah, so don't worry about the mods here, they're not doing anything. So it's literally just this, and then a bit of distortion. And then if we look at post-processing, I've got an OTT on it, like this. And I've got Trash 2, that's using the multiband feature here. Then I've got a little popper on, and I've got push-pull on. And then if we go to the Pro Q, so this is cutting out all the lows, which is why you can only hear this. And then Decimort is here as well on emulator setting, and I think I've just tweaked these slightly to get this sound. So it's really just the highs, the mids and the highs being played, and no lows. And then we've got our sidechain here, which you will understand if you've seen my other videos, but you can really apply any sort of sidechain here that you want. That's just my favorite. So then we've got another bass layer here, which is also from my sample pack. Feel free to copy this. I've slightly edited it, and we've got a lot of post-processing on it. And then we've got this going into the all-pass filter. Then we've got chorus going into the chorus, distortion going into the distortion, and then delay, but we're not really using that. So yeah, feel free to have a look at this as well. And post-processing on this is just OTT and Decimort, high tone disturbance, and then I've EQ'd it again. And then on our third sound, it sounds like this. And this is just lots of sounds tweaked until I found something that was nice over the other sounds. And then we've got a filter here, chorus. So altogether it sounds like this. So it uses step notes and triple notes. So like this, you can create half notes like this. So it goes, then it goes into a triple note, which is made by clicking the triplet here, and then you can adjust it like this, like that, and then you get a triplet like that. That's quite popular in these sort of tunes, so I recommend experimenting with that. And then it pretty much goes between full notes, half notes, full notes, and triplets throughout. You can see that's the only style of notes it's using. Now let's add the sub in. So this sub is on a separate channel, copying the melody but 4 semitones down, because there isn't any changing of the semitone in Serum. And then we've got a Pro Q on it like this. So it's pretty much just the LFO copied into the sub here, and a bit of tube distortion here. And then the sub has a Pro Q3 on it, getting rid of anything that's not sub area. And then we've got an R-bass mono, like the frequency, and then we've got a Pro Q3 doing the same thing. Now we have how I recreated Skank and Flex drop with Taiki Nulight. If you've got any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. And make sure to check out my sample packs, link in the description. Mayhem is in there too. And if you haven't already, grab the free FLP or stems to this track, link below. I'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy.